Hey, what's up? Well, long time no video, and probably by the time this one comes out, it'll be an even longer time. But what I want to talk about in this video, I want to do a quick unboxing while I have just a little bit of time. I got another package from TEMU, which I kind of swore against, but I just couldn't resist a deal. And my favorite item in the TEMU package was this Wednesday Addams doll. And while I am slightly disappointed in her scale and head size, I'm glad to have a knockoff Wednesday Addams doll. You see, she's like, I don't know, she's more of a 1/5 doll, but, you know, she's good enough. If her head were a little smaller, she'd be better, but I like how she has black hair and hazel eyes and a black dress. So she's Wednesday Addams. You know, like I was talking about Wednesday, October the 13th, 2004, and how, you know, me having a cold. I mean, it's almost like, you know, the dates became significant because of the colds. So, I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, you know, the dates became significant, you know, not the other way around. But the thing about Wednesday the 13th, well, just like anything the 13th, it quickly becomes a Friday the 13th, usually within 1 or 2 years, give or take. That's the cool thing about it. And because Wednesday is just 2 days before Friday, well, guess what? If you're born on Wednesday the 13th, you'll probably turn 1 or 2. 1 or 2 on a Friday the 13th, depending on how old you are on your first leap day. And, you know, like, well, if you're over 2, you'll turn 2 because you haven't had it yet. And if you're under 1, you'll turn 1 because you'll go from Wednesday to Friday instead of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But the rare exception, I'm not rare, but the exception is just like when you're 1.5 or in your second year of life, if there is a leap day, then you'll have to wait until you're 7. You know, just like those kids have to wait until they're 11 to see their birthday on the same day as they were born. But, you know, it's funny how numbers just work out that way. So anyway, no matter what weekday you're born on, if you're born on the 13th, 1 out of 7 birthdays will be Friday the 13th. And so by the time you're 28, you'll have seen 4 birthdays that are Friday the 13th. Just like it comes 48 times in a normal 28-year cycle. Well, basically 4 times during each month. 1 in a leap year and 3 in a non-leap year. So anyway, enough about that. You know, Wednesday Addams doll, my favorite. Let's see. The other thing is this trusty brush that I'm hoping will help me scrub the baseboards in the kitchen. And, you know, it's things like that. You know, that's been bothering me ever since we moved here. And that's just a cheap little brush I wish I could have bought sooner. You know, it's just things like that that really just annoy the hell out of me, but not him. He couldn't care less. You know, if there's crud that can never be removed or mopped up right up against the baseboards in the kitchen. And so, you know, there's my little brush that I hope will help with that. And then, of course, I have some sort of a tuxedo for a Ken doll. And what's really cool about it, I was thinking that one of those Ken clones could wear it. what's really cool about Ken tuxes is that they never have a long sleeve white shirt for the simple reason that you don't want to multiply fabric any more than you have to. And the only thing I wish is that that you could customize it or change the size of the tux or make another like clone of the tux in a smaller size, for other dolls to make like a tuxedo for, like a little bitty doll. Yeah, that's not anywhere near as big as Ken. I wish that you could have a tux machine that could copy this, only you could change the specifications to fit other dolls, because I don't want to cut that apart. So anyway, enough about the tux. And then my other two items, which I may have to change into to see if they fit. One of them is this. It's a little champagne ring. And we'll see if it fits. And let's see, a 7. It's kind of a tight squeeze on me. Ouch. But it does fit. Yow. I'm going to have to grease that on and off, but I can't get an 8 because an 8 will fall off of me. They just don't cater to half sizes. See how pretty that is? See, I just love rings. If I'd gotten a birthstone ring, for each time I survived a Friday the 13th, the birthstone of the month, by the age of 28, I would have had 4 dozen. So that puts it in perspective about Friday the 13th. Now this one is probably one of my favorites. And it is a Halloween ring. I don't know if you can see that, but I don't know that I can remove this one on camera. I might have to get some soap and water. That's what I'm saying. It's like my hands are just, I don't know why they're so big. But it's also a 7, and it's tight. But, I can't be getting sizes that are too big. I'd rather it be too tight, just a little too tight, because there's always soap than falling off my hand. Ouch. But yeah, that's my Halloween ring. And my champagne ring. Ow. Oh, God. Anyway, so that ring, probably not going to be wearing much of that. Probably not going to be wearing it very much. Because really and truly, I might ought to give it a negative review and say they lied about it being a 7, because that don't feel like no 7. It feels too small. But yeah, that definitely, that's surprising. Let's see. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's not a full 7. Looks small. But anyway, you can grease it on and off. I guess in the wintertime my hand might shrink a little bit, but it's just, I get to have a Halloween ring, which makes me very happy. I just think they cater to people with small hands, and that what they're calling a 7 is really a 6 3/4, and I don't know, I should probably order them bigger, but I don't know, all of them, run tight like that. Yeah, I guess my hands have grown over the years. And I used to think my hands were too small. I used to think that was a problem. But, so yeah, there's my Halloween ring that I'll be able to wear. And one thing I want to talk about on that note that's kind of strange is how, they've introduced this new thing with Meta AI. And what it does, it's called Imagine Me. Um, and you know, it's just kind of, it puts you in different settings. See, this is more like it. It puts you in different settings. You know, it's something with Facebook. Um, and you know, it's the strangest thing. Um, my mom doesn't like it one bit. You know, I can play with it, but I cannot share the results with my mom because you know, she's just got this thing where everything, you know, to do with me being masculine disgusts her. Why, I don't know. I mean, it's not like she's some man, you know, with a legacy and a son. You know, it isn't like women can actually do anything in the bedroom with each other. You know, women don't really have sex drives. Um, and you know, with for some reason the bot has decided that I'm male. Why is anybody's guess? You know, why I'm passing. You know, I mean, they don't ask you which sex you are. They just take pictures of your face from different angles. And how they decided that I'm a young man with no facial hair is anybody's guess, and you really can't change it. You know, contrary to what you might think, you really cannot change the sex that it has decided that you are. And the other thing is, I really don't know how other people are being read. Because my guess is that it probably likes to err on the side of someone appearing male in the body. It's like it puts your face, it's a face swapping thing. That's what it is. Put your face on a body, you know, doing whatever you tell it to imagine you doing. And it probably does err on the side of making people male. You know, I'm not sure if there are some people that are read as female or whatnot, but rather than assume that someone is female when they might actually be male, it probably defaults to male. And I can fully understand why it would do that. You know, how it would be a much greater insult if, like, let's say a teenage boy was using that and, you know, wanted to participate because, I mean, think about it, it's usually young people that are into stuff like that. You know, the metaverse, adults don't really have as much time to play with it. So, you know, if you were a teenage boy like Justin Bieber, keep going back to him, um, and you look like you could be a girl or a boy, you know, you're somewhat androgynous, I can totally understand why it would just default to male to try to avoid insulting young men. You know what I'm saying? If there's a young man who's just not very masculine looking, it would be just much better to assume that you're male because, I mean, women are like the default sex. And so, you know, rather than insult someone by, you know, saying that they don't have masculine features, um, and put them on a woman's body, I can see why it would default to male. You know, and why my mom doesn't understand that is, yeah, I don't know. But so, you know, I like to play with it, and of course they can't be accurate. You know, they can't make me as fat as I actually am. But it's fun, you know, to say, like, imagine me doing this, that, or the other. Um and what I really wish I could do is, like, imagine other people, but you know, it won't let me do that. So I have to do regular face swapping. Um so, you know, it's just really fun to do the meta AI thing and imagine myself doing things, but I don't know why, you know, it either assumes everyone is male, but of course I wouldn't know what other people's experiences have been with meta AI, or for some reason I'm passing, you know, and it's a funny thing. You know, it's just an odd thing. I used to think that my ring size was going to be a major roadblock. Like, I used to have fantasies about living as male, and I used to actually think my ring size would be, my hand size would be a huge roadblock because my hands are just too small to be male, and really I'm too short. Um, but, you know, according to TEMU, I'm more in the men's size range than the women's. You know, every women's ring seems to fit me tight. And the men's rings are, you know, if I get them in a 7, they seem okay. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. And it's like, I mean, I can still participate in it. I just can't share it with my mom because for some reason she just doesn't understand, that it can only be so accurate. I mean, it cannot accurately detect your sex, and it has a reason to err on the side of assuming that people are more masculine than they actually are, if you know what I mean. Because we all start out looking female. And until puberty, boys don't really look that masculine. And so, rather than insult some 15 or 16-year-old boy that isn't finished growing, they'd rather portray a woman with a man's body, and that's fine with me. See, I don't have this big, huge problem with it, other than it just doesn't look accurate. So, I'm really having fun with that, with the AI pictures, and I wish it wouldn't restrict you so much on using pictures of other people. But I can imagine why it would. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of spoiling a surprise, but I've been working on this song that I really like. I know it's kind of early to be thinking about Christmas, and when we're not really even that close to Halloween. And I'd rather not post the video until at least November, because I feel like it's kind of jumping the gun to post it in October, to post like a Christmas song in October, with it's some sort of a Christmas song. But I've been working on this cool song about Christmas snow, and how I wish it would snow, and it's just amazing, what you can do with AI, between the music, the artwork, but it's just not perfect. It will never be perfect. Thank God. There's still just a little bit of margin for people to tweak it and make it better. I mean, it's creepy enough as good as it is. And so, I just wanted to put that out there, and I guess I could kind of spoil it by putting the music video on this video, and then I'll go ahead and post it.
Christmas Day instead of endless rain. Wish it would snow on Christmas Day. I'm sick of the Ghost Coast plain. I dream of building a snowman and sledding down the hill. But here on the coast, those ideas have no chance being real. I wish it would snow on Christmas Day and look like winter time. The temperatures are hot and grass stays green as lime. I long for days of snowball fights and hot cocoa inside, but all we get are storms and floods and hurricanes to ride. I wish it snow on Christmas. They're lucky way up north. Down here it looks like summer, and the winter seems too short. The sound of laughter echoes through the dense blue winter air, while here down south the popcorn can brings feelings of just despair. Temperatures are hot and grass stays green as lime. I long for days of snowball fights and hot cocoa inside, but all we get are storms and floods and hurricanes to ride. So I wish it would snow on Christmas Day and look like winter time. Down here the temperatures are hot and grass stays green as lime. I long for days of snowball fights and hot cocoa inside, all we get are storms and floods and hurricanes to ride. So I wish it would snow on Christmas Day and look like winter time. Down here the temperatures are hot and grass stays green as lime. I long for days of snowball fights and hot cocoa inside, but all we get are storms and floods and hurricanes to ride. So I wish it would snow on Christmas Day and look like winter time. Down here the temperatures are hot and grass stays green as lime. I long for days of snowball fights and hot cocoa inside, but all we get are storms and floods and hurricanes to ride.